You're tuned into the Fresh Ice Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Zeno Pucks. Here are your hosts, Andy and Brian Matusi.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to the Fresh Ice. Andrew, it's the new year, and I think the best way to start the first show of this new year is just jumping right into it and reading off these Olympic rosters.
Go for it, man. That's the main reason I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's why we're all here. So
Yeah.
I pulled up the article that was on ESPN.com for this. So we are going to go and just run here through the four nations that were also featured in the Four Nations Face-Off last year. As I do believe these four countries anyways have the best shot of winning the Olympics. So let's start with the United States. We're Americans. I think that's the perfect way to start for us. Forward group is Matt Boldy, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel, Jake Gensel, Jack Hughes. They got Jack, Jake, and Jack. That's a nightmare. So Jack Hughes, Clayton Keller, Dylan Larkin, Austin Matthews, JT Miller, Brock Nelson, Tage Thompson, BradyTkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, and Vinny Trocheck. The defensemen are Brock Faber, Noah Hannafin, Quinn Hughes, Seth Jones, Charlie McAvoy, Jake Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, and Zach Werenski. And the goalies are the same three that they rolled with for Four Nations last year: Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman. So, initial reaction to this roster, Andrew, what's kind of sticking out for you?
So overall, I like the roster. A couple of things I don't like. First of all, I don't want anyone to take this as me taking a dig at him, because I'm not, but I don't think Vinny Trocheck should have a spot on that roster. That's not to take away from the player he is. I just think there are better ways to form a sentence. I think there are better candidates out there than Vincent Trocheck. That's one of the things I don't necessarily like. Matty Nye's getting denied. I think you said it on last week's episode, with him not getting a roster spot. That's a crime against humanity.
Yeah, it is. And there's another big one too that I can't believe. I mean, there's a few guys that got snubbed from this that I wasn't crazy about. Overall, I would say I agree with you. The roster construction as a whole, this isn't a bad team. It's just that, again, given some of the snubs, you wonder if this is going to be able to live up to its potential. This is a pretty good team, though. I mean, a lot of similarity to last year's Four Nations Face-Off team. And so, there's a lot of good talent here, and that's not the issue. But the issue, again, is you look at the names left off the roster. Like Clayton Keller, I think, is an outstanding pick here. He's a really good hockey player, a very effective hockey player, but is he better than a guy like Cole Caulfield, who is just an absolute scoring machine? That's just one to name an example. Obviously, the big one that everybody's wondering about is how the hell Jason Robertson, who is the leading American scorer in the last calendar year, how the hell a guy like that gets left off the roster.
Yeah.
And I know his defensive game is not perfect, but in tournaments like these, I mean, I would take every scoring weapon I could get, and to leave statistically the most effective American player off the roster, which I didn't realize how much of a tear Jason Robertson was on. After I read that he was the leading American scorer in the last calendar year, I had to go do some research and realize what I was missing out on. He has really turned it on in the last couple months of this season here. But to leave him off of this roster is I think just a gross irresponsibility. And when we talked about potential snubs, and I mentioned Matthew Nyes, it's because I never imagined Jason Robertson was going to be. I figured he was a slam dunk, and the fact that he didn't even get a call is like
insanity.
It is insane. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the move. I know you want veteran leadership, and a guy like Brock Nelson is going to provide that. Vinny Trocheck's another guy who's been around a long time. I don't agree with JT Miller in this case.
That's another one.
If this was 2 years ago, or hell, even if this was like 2 years ago or a couple years ago, JT Miller, I'd say maybe, yeah, but there's enough leadership on this team. just because it's not old leadership doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But there's enough leadership on this team where I think you could easily replace JT Miller with a guy like Robertson who can absolutely fill the net in.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's, like I said, for the most part, everything looks good. One thing I'm kind of curious to get your take on real quick, because I'm kind of torn right now. What route do you go with the goaltender? Based off where they are with their respective teams right now, and I don't want that to be considered too heavily, given that Dallas is kind of going through it right now as far as Ottinger is concerned, and Hellebuck and the Jets, God help them. And the Bruins are just kind of so. Who are you picking as your number one and your number two right now?
I mean, I think if I'm looking at it just statistically, I feel like Jake Ottinger is the correct choice here. If you asked me at the start of the season, I would have still said Hellebuck, but
yeah,
obviously between the injury and the fact that the Jets have just been terrible. I don't know. I feel like it's important to mention that Ottinger is the hot hand here.
Yeah,
like Swayman and the Bruins have kind of been up and down all year. He's not been bad, but like it's been up and down for them. Dallas, and again, I know, of course, the one time I praised them, they're on a 5-game losing streak, but Dallas has been an effective team the entire season, and I think you got to go with what's consistent, what's reliable. And I've dogged on Jake Ottinger in the past and not performing in big games, but behind it, a roster as elite as this one too, I really think that he's got a chance to succeed, and that's the guy I got to go with. As much as it pains me to say it, but it would be nice to see a Minnesota kid in net for Team USA.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I was going to say, I think Ottinger is the guy you go with in this situation. As far as your immediate backup, I mean, you can argue that all day. Hellebuck is still Hellebuck. Granted, him and the Jets have been struggling. Like you mentioned, Swayman and the Bruins have been up and down all year. Granted, they're having a better season than last year, noticeably.
Oh, yeah.
But I 100% agree. Ottinger is the move here. And like you said, he is the hot hand, but I think you see what Ottinger is capable of with a team like Dallas in front of him. With the stacked USA team like we have, I don't see any other option here. I think that's a no-brainer for me is Ottinger.
By the way, Ottinger a 905 save percentage this year, and Casey DeSmith is a 912. I think it's worth noting, I'm pretty certain that Ottinger started the season kind of on a slow pace. So the fact that he's league average is still good. And I mean, he's still got plenty of runway left on the season to get those numbers up before the playoffs. I just think it's the right option here. I mean, Hellebuck's head has got to be in hell right now, just with how this entire season's gone between the team's performance and his own injury issues. I think that's a guy whose morale might be in the dump right now. And again, Swayman, not a bad goalie either, but I think his ceiling is a lot lower than Ottinger, and I just think it makes Ottinger the easy choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. And like I said, I mean, we've seen, I don't want to word this wrong and say we've seen enough of Hellebuck. We've seen a lot of Hellebuck. I think it's like at that same time.
The sample size is big enough that I think it's done.
Yeah, I think it's just time we see. And again, this isn't me taking a dig at Hellebuck by any means. I just think it's time, and I'm very interested to see what Ottinger's capable of in the Olympics. Yeah, I just think it's a move.
The reality is this too. What the hell's the point of having 3 good goalies if you're only going to use one? So, I mean, especially in qualifying play in the Olympics, I'm sure you'll see one of each of them at least. Yeah. But I mean, again, what the hell's the point of having 3 good goalies if you're only going to use one? So I think getting Ottinger in would be the right move, even if the playing field were a little more level. I would still say going with Ottinger would probably be the right move here. But again, round robin play will determine a lot of that too, because one of these guys, any of them, all 3 of them even could come out and have a really bad start in round robin play and be like, all right, well, now who do you want to go with if you can get into the medal rounds?
Right. And it's worth noting too that while having this conversation, like none of these 3 guys suck. Like I want to put that out there. These are 3, obviously there's a reason they were called to the team.
Look, none of them are having perfect seasons, but they're all fucking great goalies. It's just this whole season's been weird.
Yeah, it's been a very weird NHL season in the sense that sometimes it doesn't feel real. But these are 3 elite goaltenders, and there's a reason why they made Team USA. And Billy G's a smart man. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what route they go with that.
Yeah,
But
he's a smart man. That's why we got Quinn Hughes in Minnesota.
that's still fucking wild.
Yeah, dude, you talk about shit not feeling real. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
I was just say I'm interested to see what route they go with it. But it's something that obviously time will tell. I'm just ready for Olympic hockey, man. I'm ready for Team USA, and I'm excited to see how we do it. It should be fun, barring any more disasters on the end of the IHF and the IOC.
Yeah, I was to say that, and again, I've tried to shy away from it because I don't even want to think about it. But this all shoulders on the fact that these teams will be playing, and this all hinges on whether or not they're going to play there at all. But it sounds like they're going to. So hopefully, it just
I don't know how the arena didn't even have a roof a week.
Yeah, I know it's a mess. The whole thing's a mess, but it does sound like it's going to be done in time, allegedly. So,
with quotation marks around it.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited to see what this team's capable of. I am, and then we haven't even gotten to the defense group yet. I just want to touch one last thing on the goaltending. As long as they're all healthy, again, I think first of all, I think Ottinger's the right guy either way, even if he doesn't have the best game in qualifying. I just think he's the right guy. When he's at his best, he's as good as anybody, and we've said the same of Hellebuck, of course. I just think it makes way more sense to try Ottinger. His sample size for winning in important games is better, or not his sample size, sorry, but the results he's had in the biggest games of his career, I would say, are better than that of what Hellebuck's done in the biggest games of his. So I as much as I've criticized him in the past with Ottinger, I am going to say he is the better choice between the two.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that. I was just genuinely curious about your opinion on that, because I was going to say I think Ottinger's the guy, and I thought you were going to call me an idiot and say, why would you take Ottinger over Hellebuck? And I was going to pretty much use every point you just
for
made.
him in the Jets. Yeah. By the way, I should have probably led the show with this too. I'm really sick right now, so I apologize for my voice.
He's sick, bro.
Yeah, not in the good way.
Oh,
sorry. Sore throat, it's the worst, man. But anyways, let's move on to the defensive group here, because this is, I mean, we talked about this with Four Nations last year, and you could argue there's some truth to it still this year, but this is probably the best defensive group in this tournament. So we'll read off this list: Brock Faber, Noah Hannafin, Quinn Hughes, Seth Jones, Charlie McAvoy, Jake Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, Zach Werenski. All of these guys are outstanding. Obviously the big snub here was Adam Fox. I don't hate that he's not on the roster. It is kind of surprising to me. But Seth Jones, I think, really, really worked his way into this roster with how much he turned it on for the Panthers the moment he was traded last year. And he quickly has become the elite Seth Jones he was in Columbus, and even in early on in his career in Nashville. So go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm so glad you said that, because I was going to say, with the Adam Fox snub, and I'm going to use that term snub loosely here, because every player, every defenseman on this roster has rightfully earned their place. So I don't want to knock anybody, but I'd say the one person, if you had to remove one here, it probably would be Seth Jones. But as you just stated, the man has consistently not only worked his ass off to get where he is since he got traded to Florida, but aside from working his ass off, he's been delivering results too. So he has, I would 100% agree, he has absolutely earned that spot.
Yeah, so I don't know if I wouldn't say Fox played himself out of that either. Like, he's still a good player, he's still a good defenseman, but here's my thing, and some people did say Seth Jones in response to this, but my thing is, like, okay, put Adam Fox on the roster, but who is he better than? Okay, well, obviously he's not better than Quinn Hughes, because Quinn Hughes is Quinn.
Yeah.
Brock Faber, you're not going to put, even if you think he's better than Brock Faber, which I don't think he's really that much better than him. I mean, Brock Faber is still an outstanding two-way defender, and now he's Quinn Hughes' defensive partner on the Wild, so that chemistry is as important as anything. No way he makes it over Brock Faber. Noah Hannafin is an extremely effective defenseman. He's a really gifted skater, really good puck mover, can quarterback a power play like this. I mean, he's a weapon, and so he does a lot of the same things that Adam Fox does, but I think he does them better. So you're not putting him on over there. Charlie McAvoy is probably, like, him and Slavin are probably, you could argue 1 and 2 as the best 2A defenders in the league. And Jacob Slavin is, I mean, such a good shutdown defender. But I mean, these are 2 really, really good defensemen. Slavin and McAvoy, no shot. And Adam Fox's biggest shortcoming is the defensive side of the game. And so there's no way you put him over these guys. Jake Sanderson has come out of his shell so much that you'd rather give the young gun a chance who's proven it in the last year and a half, not putting him on over that. Zach Werenski is a machine. I mean, he should have won MVP arguably last year, but there's just no room, man. I think Adam Fox is just a good defender that didn't make the cut because there's just too many good guys ahead of him. I don't think it was that's why I don't even know if I'd want to call it a snub. It's just, it's like a spoiling of riches kind of for Team USA. I almost said for the Wild because of Bill Guerin.
Well, half the team's fucking Minnesota Wild players, it feels
like.
So.
Yep, 3 Wild players. 3 Wild players on Team USA, and I think there's 5 Wild players on Team Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, those boys have been working their ass off this year. So, and like I said, I use the term snub loosely here with Adam Fox. You can only have so many guys are going to make the team, you know, no matter how you look at it. Okay, so then you put Adam Fox in. Okay, well, then who do you take out? Let's just say for the sake of the argument, you take Seth Jones out. Okay, well, why doesn't Seth Jones deserve that more than Adam Fox? So you're going to have that debate no matter who is on the team for what situation. And that's up and down the roster. That's not just on the defensive side of things. So, like I said, there's only so many spots on the roster. I mean, overall, I give the whole roster an A.
Yeah, no, this is a really well constructed roster. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how they roll out the forward lines because there's a lot of different configurations that just make a lot of sense. I mean, you think of Austin Matthews with the Tkachuk brothers, that worked really well last year in 4 Nations. Matt Boldy, now that he's emerged to be one of the the best scorers in the National Hockey League. I think he's second in the NHL in goals behind Nathan McKinnon right now.
Right.
And so now that he's become the elite scorer he is, do you want to put him with a Jack Eichel, who's a really good puck mover? And then you can still play Kyle Connor on that line. They just have a lot of different directions they can go with this. I mean, I think we'll probably see Jack Hughes on the wing, if anything, just because they have so many good centers in this lineup.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have like 20 different ways they can roll these lines, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm very excited, man. So it's going to make for some damn good hockey.
Yeah. So I do just want to circle back though and say, I thought for sure we'd have to get one of Caulfield or Robertson, and to not get either is mind blowing to me. So we'll see. I'll tell you what, if we come out of the Olympics and the storyline was that, boy, you know what, Team USA just couldn't get enough scoring deep in their lineup, I'm going to be pissed because we left 2 elite goal scorers off this roster. And again, I know they're not the biggest guys, but it's the Olympics. It's not the 4 Nations face-offs. Like there's a little more elegance to these games. They're officiated much more professionally. Like there's not really a lot of room for that chintzy shit that you can get away with in a regular season NHL game or a 4 Nations face-off game or something like that. So we'll see if this physical build of Team USA matches what the Olympic play style is. I have my reservations, but we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited. We're gonna find out very soon.
All right, let's go on to Canada then. Actually, yeah, let's do Canada. All right, so for Canada, this is just a star-studded lineup. This is an arguably more star-studded lineup. All right, for Canada, the forwards, Macklin Celebrini, Anthony Cirelli, Sidney Crosby, Brandon Hagel, Bo Horvat, Nathan McKinnon, Brad Marchand, Mitch Marner, Connor McDavid, Braden Point, Sam Reinhart, Mark Stone, Nick Suzuki, Tom Wilson. The defensive group is Drew Doughty, Thomas Harley, Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, Colton Parayko, Travis Sanheim, Shea Theodore, and Devon Taves. And the goalie trio is Jordan Binnington, Darcy Kemper, and Logan Thompson. So, yeah, I mean, this roster is sick. This is like if you drafted a fantasy roster to try and build the ultimate hockey team. This is a really, really talented lineup. And it's headlined with Macklin Celebrini, who, with this absolutely crazy breakout year he's having. I mean, he's really, not only are the Sharks working on a playoff race here, but Macklin Celebrini could very, very well win MVP this year. I mean, this is crazy that a 19-year-old kid is making Team Canada for the Olympics and working on an MVP season all at once.
Yeah, and obviously it's well deserved. I mean, that would be the snub of all snubs, I would argue.
Yeah,
if he doesn't make this team. So, like you said, this is an insanely stacked roster. It's disgusting in the best way possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I mean, there's really not a lot of notes to have with this group specifically. I mean, it's just the best names in the game. I mean, literally, down the middle, they have so many good centers. It's disgusting. I mean, take your pick. Almost this whole forward group is centers. Macklin Celebrini, center. Cirelli, I think, is a center. Crosby, it's a center. Hagel's a winger. Horvat, I think, can play center. McKinnon's a center. McDavid a center. Point's a center. Mark Stone can play center. Nick Suzuki center. Like, there's just so many. They have 8 centers or 9 centers, and you can only run 4 guys down the middle. So this is going to be nuts. I assume we'll probably see like Marchand with Sidney Crosby and McKinnon or something like that, because Marchand has played with Sid on an international stage before, and they had really good chemistry with Bergeron too. But I think that's a really good line. I mean, that's the best player of all time with one of the best players currently and one of the best agitators in league history.
Yeah,
that just sounds like a perfect line. And then like McDavid with Marner would be absolutely disgusting, and you can shove whoever you want on that line, and they basically just be a pass. Like they could put Tom Wilson on that line, and he could just rough everybody up and do all the forechecking, and then those two can play catch. Like as many different ways as USA can roll out their forwards to create a really, really dangerous attack. Canada can do that 10 times over.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I think Canada's got the better roster here, and that's not really up for debate.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a debate. On overall, I would say they do. I think USA's defense group is a little bit heavier, but
the Canada does have Cale Makar.
They do. They have the best, but and we can talk about the defensive group now too, because again, if we keep talking about the forward core, it's just going to be essentially us just speculating what we think they would do for line combos, because those are all. Half that roster is a Hall of Fame roster. Like it's nuts.
Yeah. There's not going to be a bad line there, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're talking about, like Sam Reinhart might be on the 4th line, and my guy has scored 60 goals and has won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. So it's a crazy group. All right, the defense group again: Doughty, Harley, Makar, Morrissey, Parayko, Sanheim, Theodore, Taves. This. Obviously, Cale Makar is going to lead this pack. He's the best defender in the world. He's going to get to play on a defensive pair with his defensive partner in Colorado, Devon Taves. Devon Taves and his wife are expecting a baby, and he may not travel for the Olympics if the baby is not here by then. So that could throw a wrench in this a little bit, but even still, I mean, then Makar would just end up playing with, Shea Theodore, Thomas Harley, who are, of course, 2 outstanding defenders in their own right. So, this is a really talented group. It is. And as good as the star power is here again with Harley, Makar, Theodore, I just think the USA, every single guy in that group's a dog. And I think the fact, and I hate to insult a Stanley Cup champion, but like the fact that Colton Parayko makes this roster is kind of an indictment on it. The fact that Travis Sanheim makes this roster is kind of an indictment on it. Drew Doughty, I won't go that far because that's an Olympic gold medalist and a 2-time Cup champ. But he's, again, even just based on his age, like, I don't know, maybe that's a piss poor take, but like you can kind of see where the difference in quality between the 2 defensive rosters is. It's just that Colorado, Jesus, well, 2 other players are in this group, but it's just that Canada's, Canada's star power is so good, it kind of makes it look better than it even is.
Yeah, absolutely. And excuse me. I think no matter what, like we said, they have the best defenseman in the world right now. Yeah. So it's gonna be a battle, and I love international play. And it's something I wish we could have every year. Obviously, that's not necessarily plausible. But Olympic hockey, man, there's nothing like it, and there's nothing better than USA Canada in my book. So, I'm just very, very excited for this.
Yeah. Canada for the goaltending, the three goalies are Jordan Binnington, Darcy Kemper, and Logan Thompson. The obvious answer in net here is Logan Thompson. LA's been just so this season. They've been really high, and then they've had some really good highs and some really low lows. They've just kind of been all over. Darcy Kemper does have a 9.12 this year, but to me, just does not scream like it's the answer in net here. Jordan Binnington's an 8.74, so I don't even know why the hell he's here. I know he's a previous Cup champ. I know he won them the Four Nations, but this is a really goofy choice to bring him along. I don't know if they just did that to kind of like pay their respects to the guy or what, but it's just not a good choice. But Logan Thompson's having a really good year. He's been really good since coming over to Washington from Vegas. This is the absolute slam dunk who is going to be in Canada's net for the majority of this tournament.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't think anybody was caught off guard.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the guys that were on this roster last year and that aren't this year, like Aiden Hill probably only isn't here because he's injured. Like if he would have been healthy, he would probably have been having a good enough season for Vegas and be an easy number one choice in that. But like Sam Montembeault, who has a 863 save percentage this year, good God. See that doesn't make the roster, but Jordan Binnington's 874 is just good enough. That's goofy to me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, again, I just don't think it matters. If Hayden Hill is healthy, maybe he's on this roster, but even still, I think Logan Thompson just might be the better choice regardless. So I got to imagine that's who's in that for Canada.
Yeah, if it's me, I'm not going with anybody else. It's Logan Thompson all the way.
By the way, there's about a mile-long snub list for Team Canada, and rather than going through it and really discussing it, I'll just say that the reality is there are so many good Canadian players that somebody had to miss the roster. Like somebody's feelings were going to get hurt one way or the other, but I there was a lot of debate about like Bedard and Schaefer. Even though they're young guys, they're great talents.
I heard a lot of argument about Cirelli making it over Sam Bennett, and
yeah, I kind of thought Sam Bennett would have been the right choice there too. Like there were some missed calls here. Like how the hell are neither of Colorado's goalies on here? Which that completely is hilarious to me. Again, Binnington with his 874 probably won't even see the ice in this damn tournament. But they wouldn't bring Mackenzie Blackwood, who's got a 919 and who's got a 924 save percentage. Doesn't get a look here. I don't know. It's kind of goofy, and Team Canada is notorious, or Hockey Canada is notorious for being the old boys club. So that's probably why Binnington's here. But man, if Canada doesn't win gold here, they'll probably look back and wish they had taken one of those guys. But beyond that, there's just so many good players. You were going to have to drop a really good player off this roster at some point or another.
Yeah, and as far as Cirelli making it over Bennett, here's my take on that, and I want to say this as a Panthers fan. Do I think Bennett got snubbed? Ultimately, yeah, but I mean, I can see the argument, and you got to remember, John Cooper is the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, so was there a little bit of favoritism there? Probably, but and is he going to take a rival player over his own guy? In that sense, and for international play, that shouldn't matter, but like I can see it. So, I mean, it's not a big deal to me, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I think Brandon Hagel's kind of overrated. So, I mean, that's probably part of the reason I think this, but maybe I could see Zach Hyman there instead, especially since he plays on a line with McDavid. I mean, Canada ran Chris Kunitz to the Olympics with Sid twice just because he was his winger in Pittsburgh. It's the only reason Chris Kunitz was on the Olympic team. Not that he wasn't a good player. Chris Kunitz was an outstanding hockey player, but I don't know about Team Canada good, but they threw him in with Sid because that was his guy. And I kind of can't believe they're not paying McDavid the same service.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think, honestly, I think Zach Hyman would fit in very well. So I don't think that would have been a bad move regardless. even without McDavid, I think that still would have been a good move.
Yeah,
So,
he still would be a good choice. He's a really effective net for presence. But again, like we said before, it's there's so many good options that somebody's going to miss the cut and somebody's feelings will get hurt. I just think it'll be interesting to see if the goaltending suffers. Again, it probably won't because Logan Thompson's so good, but I mean, like Blackwood and Wedgwood, both have better numbers than any of those guys. Don't even get a look. It's just goofy.
It's weird.
All right, let's see. So let's move on here and we'll do the roster let's do Team Finland. That sounds fun. All right, Team Finland's forwards: Joel Armia, Sebastian Aho, Mikhail Granlund, Eric Halla, Rope Hintz, Capo Kakko, Oliver Kapanen, Joel Kiviranta, Arturi Lekkinen, Anton Lundell, Eetu Luostarinen, Mikko Rantanen, Teuvo Teravainen, and Eli Tolvanen. That's a pretty solid forward group. The defense group is Miro Heiskanen, Henri Jokiharju, Mikko Lehtinen, Esa Lindell, Oli Mata, Nicholas Montempalo, Nico Mikkola, and Rasmus Ristolainen. And they will be backstopped by the goalie trio of Kevin Lankinen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Jussi Saros. So, man, that's a lot of ENs.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Overall,
yeah, a lot of Ks. Holy cow. Pretty good roster though. I mean, Finns always have the seem to have the good scoring touch, the good offensive minds and hands and skill sets. So you knew this was going to be a pretty exciting forward group. I think missing Barkov because of his ACL injury is an absolute nightmare for Team Finland. Because I mean, this team has a game breaker. Mikko Rantanen is a game breaker. He's one of the most prolific playoff scorers in NHL history. And I have to imagine his appetite for big games will be no different when he's in an Olympic matchup. So they have their game breaker, but missing Barkov, who is the best two-way player probably of all time, after like Bergeron, maybe. I mean, that hurts. You know, when a guy's out of your lineup and you have to replace him by committee, I mean, you can do your best, but that's a hell of a hole to fill. It'd be like if Canada didn't have McDavid or Sid.
Did
Thoughts?
you cut out? Oh, it sounded like you cut out.
Oh no, like I said, I think it's a backbreaker. That it'd be a huge backbreaker to not have Barkov. It's like if Canada didn't have Sid or McDavid.
Oh,
I mean, he's the best two-way player probably of all time, unless you think it's Bergeron or Kopitar.
Yeah, here's the thing. In my book, I think, and you could debate this anyway, of one's better than the other. In my eyes, Bergeron and Barkov are equal. Obviously, Barkov has still got some time left in his career. He's got plenty of time to make a case for him being the best two-way forward of all time. I think they're both better than Kopitar. And I'm not taking
it. Hurt a lot of feelings.
It's going to hurt a lot of feelings. I'm aware of that. But as far as Bergeron is concerned, look, man, it is what it is. You're no one's ever going to convince me that Kopitar is better than Bergeron. And I am not taking away from a single thing that Kopitar has done. I want to clarify that. But Bergeron's the better one. But yeah, this is a huge blow. I mean, it's been a blow to the Panthers all year. It's going to be a huge blow for for Finland as well.
And again, like a guy like Hintz is still going to be a super effective number one center. They're not going to be bad, but it's, again, when you have the ability to add in that generational talent down the middle of the leader team, it's just a night and day difference. So I think that's, I hated it because we had to, and you could kind of see it coming with Finland at the Four Nations, where it just felt like they were the odd one out. It kind of looks like it's going to be that way this time. I mean, their biggest foe obviously is going to be Sweden, who I think is way more stacked than they are. So I think Finland not having Barkov is going to really, really make it tough on them.
I'm going to throw another one out there, and this will probably be a hot take, and you'll probably light me up for this, but I'm very curious to hear your response. I don't think Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen should be on this team.
Okay, well, the problem is if he's not on the team,
who you putting on it?
Yeah,
I understand that's why he's on it.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying from a general standpoint. Let me put it this way: he better not be in net.
Yeah, I don't know. Are there any other Finnish? I can't even think of any other
Well,
Finnish
that's the
goalies in
thing.
the league. Capo
Exactly.
Kakinen, maybe. Like, I mean, I don't know, but I think Lankinen just makes the most sense for their goalies.
Yeah.
He's been effective when called upon for Vancouver, and he's just been consistent enough. Luukkonen as well for the Sabres. I mean, I know they just went on a really hot run before they lost to Columbus. But I just don't know if he's your guy either. Like, he's a guy who's never had to play in big games. So it's like, and none of these guys really have. I mean, Saros has probably played in the most important games, but he's just not having a good year. Or, compared to what he's capable of. I think Lankinen just makes the most sense here. You got to kind of go with, kind of go with the one you know best, or the one you can count on the best.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I mean, I think the choice is clear here. Lankinen's your guy.
And then we'll circle back to the defense group here. This is kind of where the talent, I don't want to say drops off, but this is kind of where there's that big valley between like Finland and Sweden and Canada and the US. Like Canada, US, Sweden, they all have these really like star-studded all-time defensive groups, and Finland really just doesn't have that. They've never been, or I shouldn't say they've never been, but they aren't right now. They aren't this defensive powerhouse producing country. I mean, behind Heiskanen, like Lindell's very good, Mikola's very good, Ristolainen is pretty good. Yoki Haru's nothing special. Oli Mata's nothing special. Nicholas Montempalo's all right. But like, other than Heiskanen, they don't have any superstar defensive talent, and that's where all these other countries shine.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that like you mentioned earlier, this is going to kind of be, you hate to say it, but they're going to kind of be the odd ones out. Granted, anything can happen, but I think this is going to be.
With those goalies in that defensive core and no Barkov, and the rest of these teams are all pretty much healthy. I don't know. It's just, I hate to dump on them, but it doesn't make any sense how they get around any of these other three teams.
That's all right. I'm pulling for Team Great Britain.
Yeah, I was going to say, and there's still plenty of other teams within their pool. Hell, Finland, make no mistake, will be good enough. They should make it to the elimination rounds. They should. I would think they'd do well enough in qualifying to make it to the elimination rounds, but there are some absolute horses in their way, and I just don't think they have what it takes to beat 1, 2, or all three of them.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
All right, let's move on to Team Sweden here, and then we'll wrap up this first segment of the show.
All right.
So Team Sweden, forward group is Jesper Bratt, Leo Carlsson, Joel Eriksson Ek, Philip Forsberg, Pontus Holmberg, Adrian Kempe, Gabriel Landeskog, who might not be now because he just got injured, Elias Lindholm, William Nylander, Elias Pettersson, Ricard Raquel, Lucas Raymond, Alex Wenberg, and Mika Zibanejad. The defensive group for Team Sweden is Rasmus Andersson, Philip Broberg, Jonas Brodin, Rasmus Dahlin, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Gustav Forsling, Victor Hedman, and Erik Karlsson, and the goalie trio studded with the star-studded wild goaltending tandem. It's Philip Gustafsson, Jacob Markstrom, and Jesper Wallstedt. So let's run it back. Actually, we'll start with the goalies for Team Sweden. I actually kind of predicted this right before they announced the rosters. Where were we? I think I was at your house, or we were together somewhere. But I said I think it's going to be Gustafsson and Wallstedt with Markstrom as the third in that group, and sure as shit it is. And I really don't think Team Sweden can go wrong using any of these three guys.
Oh, sorry, I was yawning. Yeah, I agree, and I mean, I never disagreed with you to begin with, and I think this is a kind of a situation where it's like there's not really a wrong choice of who to put in net there. I think no matter how you look at it, it'll bode well for them.
Yeah, I mean, statistically right now, Jesper Wallstedt does have the highest save percentage, but his play has faltered just a little bit in the last last couple of weeks here. Gustafson's still been pretty good. I still think you start the tournament with Markstrom as your guy because, again, you want, like I said with Finland, you want to go with the guy you're the most familiar with. And I just think Markstrom, at least in a vacuum, probably gives you the best chance to win right now. And I don't say that to poo-poo my favorite team's goaltenders because I love them both. They've both been outstanding. But I think, again, for Sweden, you kind of got to go with the guy that's been there before, too, on a stage like that. So I think you start, and, if you think Gustafson's going to be the hotter, or, if you want to go with a hotter hand, like if Gustafson has a really good showing or Wallstedt has a really good showing and you want to go with that, great. But I think Markstrom makes sense to start.
Yeah. I don't really have. See, for me, I'm just like, I agree with you. I think Markstrom makes sense to start, but I don't have any qualms no matter who they go with here. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong choice. I think you, whatever decision you make, you accept the result. So even if they don't win any medals at all, like you're like, we had 3 good goalies, we went with one of them. It is what it is. Or if they win the whole thing, you're like, hey, we knew we had 3 good goalies. We just rolled the hot hand and we won a medal. So I think any way they do it is good, but I think out of respect in this case specifically, I wouldn't normally think this, but I just go with your guy. It's not like Canada trying to bring Binnington with when he's a fucking 874.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, the defensive group. So a lot of really good talents here. Jonas Brodin, I've had the pleasure of watching him for the past decade and almost a half. Outstanding defenseman for the Wild. One of the most effective shutdown defenders in the league. Really flies under the radar a lot, which I don't understand how, because he's just really effective. He's almost never the guilty party on a goal against. He very rarely is on the ice for a goal against. He's just a really effective player, really gifted skater. Much the same can be said about Rasmus Dahlin, not as far as his shutdown play goes, but a really, really gifted skater, and Dahlin moves the puck really well. He's got a really good shot. Just a really talented defenseman as well. Gustav Forsling, another insanely effective shutdown defender, and it's crazy that the Panthers got him off of a waiver claim.
Yeah.
After Carolina waived him a couple of years ago. That still blows my mind.
That right there was one of the most instrumental moves in them winning back-to-back Stanley
Oh my God,
Cups.
was it ever? And then Victor Hedman, obviously one of the best defensemen in the league. I mean, this is just a really talented pool. And again, it fizzles out a little at the end. Like Broberg's pretty good, but he's not great. Rasmus Anderson is pretty good, but he's not great. Erik Karlsson is not what he was 5 years ago. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's obviously on the back nine, but like there's really good defensemen here. There's really good talent here. This is going to be a tough group to play against. And again, with those goalies behind them too, forget it. I mean, this could be a really hard team to score against.
Yeah, I agree with you. And as good as USA and Canada look, I mean, this isn't a team to sleep on, man. And we haven't even addressed the forward group yet. Like these guys are the real deal. So there's no matter what the lines are, no matter what the goaltending looks like, this team's going to be good. And I mean, they're really going to show their true colors in this tournament. I would be shocked if it goes any other way.
Yeah, definitely. For Sweden's forward group, I think this is the one area where I wonder if this is what's going to give them issues. I don't think they'll have issues keeping the puck out of the net in a general sense. I think they will struggle to score. And there's some really gifted players on this team. There's some really gifted goal scorers on this team. Leo Carlsson, Jesper Bratt, Philip Forsberg, and then insanely good shooter Adrian Kempe. I always forget he's even in the league. He's so underrated, it's criminal. William Nylander, when he's on, can shoot it as well as anyone. Like there's some really talented shooters on this team, but the lack of superstar power, like Sweden doesn't have. In the forward group, they don't have a single. I really don't think they have a single game breaker. Maybe Nylander when he's at his best. Leo Carlsson is really good, but like they don't have a Crosby, a McDavid. They don't have an Eichel. I don't want to say Matthews because he's had such a rough year by his standards. But they don't have that like true game breaking forward, it feels like that Canada and the US have. I mean, again, Canada, it's almost the entire forward group, and US has a couple of really gifted forwards too. I just think that's where Sweden's roster suffers.
Yeah, I agree. That their biggest issue, and I don't even want to say it's going to be their, like, when I say it's their biggest issue, I'm not saying it's going to be a struggle for them. I'm just saying if any flaws they're going to have here, it's going to be scoring. And that's not to take away from any of these guys either. I just think, each of these teams is going to have their weak point somewhere, and this is just kind of where theirs lies, unfortunately. But I think the big savior for them right now is going to be the defensive core and the fact that they got 3 solid choices in net. So I'm hoping that they're able to shut it down enough to where if they can get 1 or 2 sneaky ones, they'll be all right.
Yeah, the one thing that's going to help Sweden with the forward group is that they do have some really good centers for taking faceoffs, like Mika Zibanejad. That's going to be a really crucial guy for them. I assume he's going to probably be first or second line center. He's a guy that can win faceoffs, guy that can shoot really well. Joel Eriksson Ek is another guy that's going to be relied upon a lot for faceoffs. When they play Canada, he's going to be almost certainly tasked with defending McDavid. That's another guy who can be a really effective player for you. So even though they don't have true game breakers in that sense, these are guys who know how to play against game breakers. So that can go a long way. So even though I do think they may struggle for scoring, they're always going to be in every game because I just don't think they're going to allow too much.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man.
So, all right. Well, here we got through those 4 rosters. So I just wanted a chance to at least discuss them. And again, we're not going to go down every roster. And a lot of these rosters, like the French roster, are going to have no NHL players. And so rather than do that, I just wanted to at least go through the rosters where we can make an entire roster out of NHL players.
And bear this in mind too. If the Russians were in this is an entirely different tournament. We're missing out.
Oh my God.
We're missing out on seeing some of the best players in the whole damn world because of pettiness. So we won't get into obviously everyone knows the reason why the Russians aren't in it. We're not going to elaborate on it because that's not what we do on this show. But it's just bullshit that the players aren't allowed to play as a result of it. And it sucks because there's so much talent, not just in the NHL, but around the world with these Russian players, and we're not going to get to see it showcased.
Yeah.
So that blows.
Here are some of the names that will not be in the Olympics because they're Russian players: Alex Ovechkin, Evgeny Malkin, Nikita Kucherov, Artemi Panarin, Pavel Buchnevich, Kirill Kaprizov, Kirill Marchenko, Ivan Barbashev, Val Nichushkin. That's unbelievable. Oh, Ivan Demidov. Wow. Let's see. Who are some defensemen too? Mikhail Sergachev, Vlad Gavrikov, Alex Nikishin, Ivan Provorov. Like, these are some really freaking good players for naming. I mean, that forward group has, the best goal scorer of all time and 3 of the best goal scorers in the league right now: Kaprizov, Kucherov, and Panarin.
Yeah.
And none of these guys. I'm thrilled as a Wild fan that Kirill will get 2 weeks to rest his body up. But as a hockey fan, I can't believe this roster is not going to get to go to the Olympics. The goalie who's won the last 2 Stanley Cups is going to be sitting on his couch for 2 weeks.
Yep. It's just a huge load of horse shit. But
Sergei Bobrovsky and Andrei Vasilevsky, between the 2 of them, have 4 Stanley Cups in the last 5 years or 6 years, and neither of them will be at the Olympics. That is hilarious, or that is depressingly hilarious.
It's a crime against humanity.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. It's bullshit, and the IOC doesn't give a shit about NHL fans and our opinions, obviously.
They don't care about hockey fans that much. They just want to play the sport and get it over with.
Yeah, and I say obviously the Russians would compete in more sports than just hockey, so it goes beyond hockey, but it's just a damn shame.
Yep. Yes, it is. But all right, let's move on from here. Let's take a quick break. We're going to hear from Xenopucks, and then we'll come back and we will discuss a few other things from around the game of hockey. This is the Fresh Ice Hockey Podcast.
It's hockey season, and you're looking to work on your stick handling or maybe even your shot, but ice time just isn't an option for you right now.
Luckily, our buddies over at Xenopucks have got you covered. They've developed an elite off-ice practice puck that, in addition to looking like the real thing, is the same size and weight as a regulation hockey puck to give you that authentic feel on the end of your stick. It works better than other off-ice practice pucks on almost any surface, whether you use it on hardwood, carpet, concrete, or even asphalt. Xenopucks glide like a real puck on ice. So if you're looking to improve your game without setting foot on the ice, head over to www.xenopucks.com and get yourself a puck. Check out their merch selection and be sure to follow them on Instagram at Xenopucks.
All right, so let's get the show rolling on here. So I mentioned this very briefly when we were doing the Olympic rosters for Team Sweden. Gabriel Landeskog, unfortunately, the victim of another injury. So it sounded like he's going to be out for a little bit. I don't know if that means like through the Olympics or not, but for those who didn't see, Gabriel Landeskog had a really nasty injury the other night. I forget now against who, but he went sliding full speed ahead and took either a chest or ribs or hip into a goal post, and it was a nasty injury. He had to be carried off the ice, and it sounds like he'll be out for quite a bit. So wishing the best for Gabe. Obviously has had a very well-documented injury history, and hoping he's just able to get back to normal and, hopefully for his country, be back for the Olympics and for the Avalanche as well, hoping to get him back in plenty of time. Get him ready for what would likely be another long Avalanche playoff run.
Yeah, you hate to see it, and I love Landy, so that sucks, especially after him finally coming back and after 3 years off the ice. It's a damn shame, but like you said, you hope it's not long term, and hopefully he's back in time for the Olympics. But the bigger concern here is that he's back and able to contribute to what is expected to be a long Colorado playoff run.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's just a quick turnaround, because when you hear them say it, quote unquote, a little while, and you're like, oh God, that
could be in a week.
Yeah.
It could be in 3 months.
I mean, shit, how many times did his return time get set back in his 3 years he was injured,
Yeah.
So that's that is a little bit alarming. Another injury that's alarming: Pyotr Kochetkov in Carolina had, I believe, a knee surgery done, lower body injury. My goodness, I couldn't even say it.
A lowy body injury.
Yeah. So Pyotr Kochetkov done for the year in Carolina. To Carolina's, I don't want to say fortune, but the silver lining for them is that Brandon Bussey has come in for them recently and done an outstanding job taking over their net there. And again, seems like they're done relying on Freddie Anderson, but at least for the rest of this season, they'll have to rely on him in a backup role.
Yeah, well, like we always say, anyone but Freddie.
Yeah, it's just sucks to see. I mean, Kochetkov having a pretty good year in his own right, and again, you think Carolina finally has the dynamic goaltending duo that they need with how good Bussey's performance has been there, and now this huge setback for them. So I don't think this changes their plans. I don't think it changes them drastically. I just think you see Bussey probably pick up a little bit of a bigger workload, even more so now, as I really don't think they're going to want to put much faith in Freddie Anderson anymore.
Yep, and who could blame him?
No, I not one bit. All right, let's move on real quick. I just want to address this. What's that?
I just know what's coming next. That's why I'm laughing.
Oh, okay. So I just want to address this quick. There wasn't any big fallout from it. I think it was a 1-game suspension or something like that. Logan Stanley, the sucker punch on BradyTkachuk. I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in on this because we were at a party when we saw the highlight of him getting sucker punched.
Yeah.
And the comment section, almost every comment said Brady had it coming. Oh, Brady deserved it. Oh, he just got what was coming to him. It's karma. BradyTkachuk is not my favorite player. Not even a little bit. He is an absolute menace on the ice, and I can't stand having to play when my teams have to play against him. That being said, it doesn't matter what he did. When you're like half a foot taller than a guy and you sucker punch him with your bare fist, you're a bitch. Logan Stanley is the biggest bitch in the National Hockey League. The guy is 6'7" or 6'6", And he goes around, and I swear every time I see him, all he's trying to do is injure another team superstars. He's constantly throwing late, dirty hits, cross checks to the back, just cheap shots in any sense. And this is like the culmination of all of that, a bare-fisted sucker punch right to the jaw. And that roughed BradyTkachuk up. He was obviously animated. And so BradyTkachuk is not my favorite guy. And I do think he's a pain in the ass, and sometimes he deserves what's coming to him. Let's not let Logan Stanley get away with being a giant pussy on the ice. I mean, that was an absolutely disgusting display of sportsmanship. Hockey is a tough physical game, and you need to be tough. But being tough doesn't involve sucker punching a guy that's not looking at you. Especially when you're 6 inches taller than him, or whatever, 5 inches taller than him. So just I didn't have much respect for him as a player anyways, but I think that's now tenfold, because I mean, you're just John Scott, but you can score a little bit more. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, and you're a little bit stupider.
Yeah, well, even that's up for that could be debated.
Well, the difference is some people actually respect John Scott. So,
all right, well, to those that do, good on them. Let's talk about somebody everybody can respect, and that is Jack Johnson. Announcing his retirement from the National Hockey League. This says here that he's going to join the Vancouver Canucks as an assistant coach. Fun. Or is it as a scouting assistant? Sorry. All right, so Jack Johnson, obviously longtime Blue Jacket. He played parts of, 7 seasons with the Jackets, and played like 6 full seasons there. But retires with 1,228 games played. He had 77 goals, 265 assists for 342 points in his career. Jack kind of did it all. He was a
jack of all trades.
Yeah, he was a jack of all trades. No, probably the ultimate journeyman. I think played for 6 different teams, won a Stanley Cup, was traded off of LA the year they won the Stanley Cup. When he was traded to Columbus, because I believe that was the Jeff Carter trade? That might have been the Jeff Carter trade.
I believe it was the Jeff Carter trade.
Carter, and I have to look this up. Trade to LA. Yeah, traded for Jack Johnson. Wow, ESPN article from 14 years ago. Holy crap. But yeah, so Jack Johnson ended up getting traded to Columbus for Jeff Carter. So that trade, you could say, oh, well, they traded him the year he could have been on a Stanley Cup winner. But Jeff Carter coming to LA was part of the reason they won the Cup, because they needed that scoring touch, and he brought it. Yeah. So Johnson goes the other way, but spends a good chunk of his career in Columbus with the Jackets, an effective player, and not the flashiest defenseman ever, not an offensive superstar, anything like that. But listen, man, there's no other way to say it. If you play 1,200 games in the National Hockey League, you're a good fucking player. I don't care what your point totals are. If you're able to lace them up and keep up for 1,200 games, you're a good player.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Jack Johnson was. It's why he just did not go away for the longest time. Played his first game into the 06-07 season, and played his final game last season.
Look, 1,200 games in the NHL doesn't happen by accident. So, and you brought up a beautiful point. I don't care what the point totals say, nothing. He was good enough that someone wanted to keep him around that long. So, that just goes to show you. It just speaks to cut players, and he won a Stanley Cup. So, I mean, a hell of a career, a well-deserved retirement, and I'm sure he'll probably love life now in an office role. And I'm a little bummed it's with Vancouver, but hey.
By the way, no slouch either in the year he did win a Stanley Cup. He wasn't a passenger. He played 74 games for the Avalanche the year they won the Stanley Cup. And in their playoff run, I think the Avs were like something stupid, like 16-4. And he played 13 games of that playoff run. So he played over half the games on their Stanley Cup run. And he played 74 games that regular season. So even though it was in the back nine of his career, he was no slouch. He was not a passenger on his team on his Stanley Cup year. So Good on Jack. Enjoy the retirement. And now when I play the NHL video game, I'm going to have a different guy to be my left or third pair lefty.
Yeah. That's all right.
So, all right. Well, I think we can wrap there then. Just wanted to give Jack a good shout out again. I don't care what anyone says. obviously his point totals, I mean, his career numbers, he's not going to end up in the Hall of Fame, but God damn it, he played 1,200 games. You could not have done something more right to not only be around to play that long, but be healthy enough to play that long and good enough. That's like you said, Andrew, somebody wants to keep you there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So he was no slouch at any point in his career, and like we said, it's a hell of a career.
He's also kind of buried the lead here. He was drafted 3rd overall by Carolina in 2005.
Oh, there you go. So a hell of a career and a well-deserved retirement.
Yep. All right, folks. Well, sorry for the late delivery of this episode. We were both out of town visiting family and friends. So we didn't get back home to our own homes till Sunday afternoon, evening, and then just didn't record yesterday. So there you go.
Yeah, you'll have that on those. Sometimes we unintentionally do whatever we want jobs.
Yeah, well, that being sick wasn't a good motivator either. So
yeah, you'll have that. Well, you needed your rest, so I get it.
Yep. So, all right, everyone. Well, we should be back this Sunday unless something unforeseen happens, but we should be back this Sunday with an episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Happy New Year again to all of you. We'll see you next weekend.